Scott, thanks for joining us here in the Hibernian TV studio at the training centre in East Mains. New season and a new role for yourself, switching from Chief Executive to a new position of Executive Director. For the benefit of our viewers, what exactly does that new role entail?
Well, the new role essentially has responsibility for the football organisation specifically, so dedicated to focusing on supporting the manager with the resources round about him and focusing on supporting youth development and making sure we remain in the forefront of that. It came out of a review of the organisation that we started back probably February, March, and with the major infrastructure project of the East Stand completed, we had to look again at how we used the executive resource we had to maximum effect. And through that came a reorganisation which is now fully in place, which involves Fife in the new role of Managing Director and myself in the new role of Executive Director, focused on the key priorities of the board, one being sporting success and the other being the continued growth of the club.
Is that because of the completion of the projects back obviously at the stadium with the completion of the East Stand, and obviously here at East Mains the completion of the training centre? Is this the next logical? Yeah,
it's the evolution of the organisation. I rejoined the club just a few months before we completed the training centre project, so there were two major projects that had to be undertaken, and we've completed those. It has always seemed slightly at odds with me that having our football department entirely based at the training centre, that our executive team was entirely based at Easter Road. So we've realigned that. I'm now focused and dedicated on supporting the football organisation, the scouting, the medical department, the performance management, the youth academy, and obviously the first team manager. And it just seems an entirely sensible and logical next step for us to have a senior executive based and dedicated at the training centre.
Obviously we're in the midst of a transfer window at present. You mentioned obviously your role in terms of perhaps player recruitment and working in tandem with the first team manager. For the benefit of our viewers, how does that relationship work? What's your kind of role in that process?
Well, it's not entirely new. Over the last 12 months I have essentially had the majority of responsibility for working with the manager to conclude the recruitment of talent and to deal with all of the aspects round about that. How it works is we work incredibly closely on a day-to-day basis, and my opinion on the football front counts for nothing. His opinion counts for everything. The decisions on who to recruit, what type of player to recruit are entirely down to the manager, the scouting staff and the coaching staff, and I'm there to help make those things happen once the manager has identified the priority positions and the priority players, and we work very openly together on managing to squeeze the best out of the budget that we have as a club. That pretty much that's how it works. It's been going on. The focus on recruitment never really stops. Of course, the transfer windows are a key flurry of activity, and it's crucial that we get business done in those times. But it never stops. You're always looking ahead.
So Junior Gogo signed for the club on Tuesday evening. There's 4 new arrivals into the club this summer. From your perspective as Executive Director, do you feel it's been a productive window so far?
Yes, we're delighted with the players that we have secured. We're working with a smaller squad this season. That's something that the manager wanted to do, and it's therefore imperative that the individuals who come in are the right individuals, the right quality, an improvement in quality, and with the right characters, and that's something that the manager is very big on. You know, he wants players who will add to the group, who will add to the dressing room, and players critically who want to be here, which is vital, and is something the manager holds high on his list of priorities. I think the junior example is a good one, because it demonstrates again the manager's patience. You could call it patience, you could call it determination, single-mindedness, but he knows the players that he wants, and he's prepared to wait to get those players and we're delighted to have secured Junior. I know the manager's delighted to have secured him, and he's again another example of someone who made it absolutely clear just how much he wanted to be here, and that helped us to do the deal.
Obviously, on the Thursday media conference, we're scheduled to unveil Junior officially as a Hibernian player. That's the finish line, so to speak, the end product of all the hard work. Just how much effort and energy and hours go into the completion of a transfer, and how frustrating is it to sometimes almost get to the finish line and then see the club get gazumped or the deal get hijacked?
Yeah, well that doesn't tend to happen too often. The amount of time that goes into it is really difficult to quantify, but you know, it's fair to say that you don't get everyone that you go after. However, on this occasion, contrary to what people may believe, contrary to what might be reported elsewhere, we had two strikers in on trial, and this is the one that the manager wanted. This is the one that he preferred, and Junior was the one who made it absolutely clear that he wanted to be here and was desperate to play for the club.
How frustrating is it as well from the perspective of the executive director and also board member, where perhaps there's always going to be speculation and rumours about transfers, and we've obviously been linked to a number of different players over the course of the summer, and most of them have been inaccurate. How frustrating is that when our supporters are perceiving it that we've missed out on so-called transfer targets when they've never been on our radar at all?
It's not really frustrating. It's always been this way. We choose to do our business in a particular way, and that way is suited to the manager that we have just now, because he is very determined and single-minded in his pursuit of players, and sometimes that means you have to play a long game and a waiting game and a patient game. If we were to comment on every piece of speculation and every player we're linked with, we wouldn't be getting on with our work. We get our heads down, we focus on getting on with the work. All of these distractions just happen round about us, and we just get on with doing the work that's required to secure the players that the manager wants, and that will continue. You know, the window is still open. I think the manager talked about it last night, the fact that the English clubs, because of our early start to the season, they're just now coming back into their pre-season training. They're a few weeks behind, and there are lots of opportunities still open to us, and we're still out there in the market and absolutely expect to secure more talent, but only the right ones.